memories of lampposts after closing time of clubs and bars. 20s have shacked up in a bedsit, save for a house deposit and the outlay for the full works on the big day. 30s circumnavigating the neighborhood or on the two-car shuttle between school gates, face painting, violin lessons, junior sports displays. 40s hope to prove themselves enlightened when moping and tantrum syndrome strikes. They're back-chatting, drum kit, bashing young. 50s at leisure to relieve the child-minding side of their children's pressures, wheel squealing granddaughters to sleep in buggies. 60s try to ignore signs of decline but still accept a sorely needed lift from son or daughter to the support group meeting or outpatient's prefab. 70s blab on about deteriorating standards, which their children hadn't relocated at such distance, live for Christmas reunions, bide their time. Here's a happy guy. Just jump up, Sylvia.
Jump up, Sylvia. This is from the very first poetry book that Leanna Sullivan published, and she was very young. She was 21 or something.
It was published when she was 21.
There are so many in here, but this one got my attention a few minutes ago. And it's called Children of the Seals. And I remember the legend of the Silkies, the seals that came on shore and became either men or women and fathered children. And I remember the first verse of an old song I used to sing. There's a whole song which I won't sing, but I will do the first verse to lead into the poem. And it's, unearthly Nora sits and sings, and I she sings by lily wing. Little Kenai, my bairn's father, far less the land that he stops in. And the poem, Children of the Seals. When I remember my 16th year, I hear my grandmother telling me of silkies, seals that took the form of women on land, letting fall their smooth skin on the shore, bathing and dancing in moonlight with their new bodies. After she told me, I went to the beach near our house. I ran to it as if I would never let the dawn take my smooth child's skin from me. On the driftwood, dead starfish lay like garlands of fruit, flowered and orphaned from the starless night. Nothing was clear. The moon peeled the ocean back, and I saw a woman in a pane of water, a hip first, a breast. What happened between the sand and the ocean happened in darkness, slowly fingering the base aside, each jewel disappearing, easy as a breath. The ocean was birthing this new creature to land. It folded and gathered like a sheet as I entered the soft pelt of the waves. The ocean had been sailed, the horizon tender for my outstretched limbs, my open mouth, my tapered legs moving into deepness. I moved towards the large waves. I moved to preserve this child in cold salt. And as the starfish let go of the driftwood, as the wind blew the springs back toward the mountain, the sun began to rise, and the water washed over my
This is Pablo Neruda, so I'm going to read it in Spanish and Diego will do the honors in English. El arpa. Iba sola la música. No había pluma, pelo, leche, humo, nombres. No era noche ni día. Solo entre los planetas naciendo del eclipse, la música temblaba como una vestidura. De pronto el fuego, el frío, cuajaron una gota y plasmó el universo su extenso escaparate. Lava, ceniza hirsuta, resbaladiza aurora, todo fue transmigrando, de dureza en dureza, y bajo la humedad recién celeste estableció el diamante su helada simetría. Entonces el sonido primordial, La solitaria música del mundo se congeló y cayó convertida en estrella, en arpa, en cítara, en silencio, en piedra. Por la costa de Chile, con frío y en invierno, cuando cae la lluvia lavando las semanas, oíd, la soledad vuelve a ser música. Yo no sé, me parece que el aire, que la lluvia, que el tiempo, algo con olas y alas, pasa, crece, y el arpa despierta del olvido.
The harp. Only the music moved. Milks, feathers, skins, names, and smoke. Nothing else was, neither night nor the day, as the planets emerged from the music's eclipse to a rustle of music like drapery. All at once, hot and cold curdled into a drop. The great press of the universe took form in the lava, a mane in the ashes, dawn slithering down. Hardness transfigured itself into hardness under the drizzle that once was a part of the sky. As the diamond conceived its symmetrical frieze in the snow. Sound grew primordial then, a world's lonely music, congealing and plunging and trying its changes. The meteor's shape, shapes of the harp and the zither, the silence, the stone. Chile's great seaboard, frozen into its winter, washes the weeks in rain. Listen, that solitude turning to music again as all seems to widen and fail past my knowing. Air, time, and the rains, a thing in the waves and the feathers, and oblivion wakes for the harp.
You got one there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is one of my favorites.
Okay.
This is a Fez, a translation by Daniel Ladinsky. This is just always makes me smile. If you don't, it's called If You Don't Stop That. I used to live in a cramped house with confusion and pain, but then I met a friend and started getting drunk and singing all night. Confusion and pain started acting nasty, making threats with talk like this. If you don't stop that, all that fun, we're leaving.
Ready?
Hold on, let me leave so I don't interrupt your thing.
Sorry, do you need help?
No, I'm good. My brother's leaving for New Orleans and this is, I gotta say goodbye.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Rodrigo.
Maybe I'll see you all again,
Yes.
hopefully.
Soon, I hope.
Sooner than later. Thank you. You have a beautiful place.
Su casa y su casa.
Well, it's great. You gave us the opportunity to do something we haven't done in a very long time, so it's always
It's
wonderful
great that you shared it with us.
to share that with you. Thank you. Because if you weren't here, we wouldn't have done it.
There you go. Thank you.
Hello again. This is called Bright Yellow. I wrote it after the Boston bombings. The wired world now watches Celeste, accidental celebrity of the Boston bombings. Double amputee, one partial limb longer than the other. Bright yellow bandages hide the hope of one knee hanging on. A handsome man visiting Celeste and her daughter, who was also hit on Boylston Street, but you see the daughter's feet. The man, a Marine who competed overseas, and the camera pans down to titanium shins. At their ends, two soles of black running shoes against the hospital floor. You will be more independent, he says, than ever before. Despite sawed-off bones, flesh stretched and sewn like truncated logic, she can stand on this.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Randy?
I'm not a poet, I'll just read somebody. This is like a really hard tough to get out. Okay, so this, I can't even say it because it's a Polish poet.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Which, I can't say it.
I can read it in Polish.
I was like, I can't say it.
It's, Wisława Szymborska.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
You can close enough.
You can call it Jim.
Yeah. It's a female, not that much, but.
All right.
That's all I can say. Yeah, this one just, flipping through, this one struck me kind of timely. The end and the beginning, that's what it's called. After every war, someone has to tidy up. Things won't pick themselves up after all. Someone has to shove the rubble to the roadsides so the carts loaded with corpses can get by. Someone has to trudge through sludge and ashes, through the sofa springs, the shards of glass, the bloody rags. Someone has to lug the post to prop the wall. Someone has to glaze the window, set the door in its frame. No sound bites, no photo opportunities, and it takes years. All the cameras have gone to other wars. The bridges need to be rebuilt, the railroad stations too. Shirt sleeves will be rolled to shreds. Someone, broom in hand, still remembers how it was. Someone else listens, nodding his unshadowed head. But others are bound to be bustling nearby. They'll find all that a little boring. From time to time, someone still must dig up a rusted argument from underneath a bush and haul it off to the dump. Those who knew what this was all about must make way for those who know little, and less than that, and at last, nothing less than nothing. Someone has to lie there in the grass that covers up the causes and effects, with a cornstalk in his teeth, gawking at clouds.
We've got a lot of poets in the Triangle and across North Carolina who are very active for change on a broad level. But I think change also takes place personally. This is kind of about one poet's vision of change and what it involves. It's Naomi Shihab Nye. This poem's called Kindness. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment, like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go, so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop. The passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road. You must see how this could be you. How he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then, it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to mail letters and purchase bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, it is I you have been looking for, and then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend.
Anybody else have a poem? Anybody else have a poem? Okay.
I just will find it first.
Okay, well, then, while you're finding it, I actually had one that I wanted to read.
Okay, go ahead.
For some reason, I've been haunted by the image of hands, and very disturbed by the drone strikes, obviously in the Middle East, and children killed on that. I was thinking of children's hands, but this actually, the first stanza was published in Witness the Peace, and I realized it was the second hand. It's not just the hand of the child victim, it's the hand that actually sends the drone, which is probably often a woman in Colorado, you know? It's called the Bloody Hand. Bloody Hand gropes up through rubble bricks. It doesn't matter if from IED or drone, improvised destruction as effective as planned. The hand opens broken fingers, caresses the air as if apologizing for being a child. The other hand presses a button 6,596 miles away, then sweeps up her keys, gathers her child from daycare, wraps its fingers around a sweet to hold them off until she can slice the veggies for supper.
Wow.
Well, I couldn't find the one that I really like, but there's another one that I like. Let me try, I didn't know what I can show you. Excuse my Turkish. Angina pectoris. If half of my heart is here, doctor, the other half is in China, with the army flowing toward the Yellow River. And every morning, doctor, every morning it's sunshine in my heart, and sunrise in my heart is shut in Greece. And every night, doctor, when the prisoners are asleep and the infirmary is deserted, my heart stops at a rundown old house in Istanbul. And then after 10 years, all I have to offer my poor people is this apple in my hand, doctor, one red apple, my heart. And that, doctor, that is the reason for this angina pectoris, not nicotine, prison, or arteriosclerosis. I look at the night through the bars, and despite the weight on my chest, my heart still beats with the most distant stars. Another Nazim.
Just a few minutes, I guess Ed Stevenson will set up, and